So Yechizkiah starts his discourse with the following exposition. It is stated in the Song of Songs, that's part of the Torah, the Bible. It says, like a lily among thorns. Rabbi Yechizkiah asks, what is this lily that the Torah is talking about? And he answers, this is the assembly of Israel. So that's the assembly, the gathering together of the people of Israel. And the idea here is that there's this concept of the people of Israel being in the world, and somehow our presence here, we're supposed to be sort of the ones who are receiving, we'll call it divine information, and then passing that along into the world, sort of the how does the world work, how does God see the world, how is the world structured, and how are we supposed to all connect to each other in a way that balances being open and sharing and giving and loving, but also having discipline and justice and knowing how to actually create barriers and discipline at the same time that you have connections and love. So that's the assembly of Israel, and this is also called Malchut. Malchut means majesty, and basically the idea is that when we are giving God a place in the world, in other words, by us embodying God's divine traits and God's divine way of thinking, so that is crowning him, that is kind of giving majesty to God, because now it's like he's present through us into the world. So it's called Malchut, literally majesty or crowning, majesticness, because we're basically giving him that space. For there is one type of lily and there is another type of lily. There's two kinds of lilies. Just as the lily that is among the thorns has both the colors red and white, so too the assembly of Israel has both judgment and mercy. So we're going to see there's two different kinds of lilies. There's two different states really that this can be in. But the point that it's making now is that these flowers, which they're supposed to be an analogy for the assembly of Israel, they have two different aspects. There's judgment and mercy. So those two terms are referring to the dynamic I mentioned a minute ago, which is the mercy concept is really the one of saying, if I have mercy on someone, it means I'm being flexible with them. I'm letting things go. In other words, I'm being open and relaxed and just sharing and connective. And when there is judgment, there's now a point of, wait, let me separate, pull back for a second and evaluate, what are you, what am I, what's the situation require? And so that requires more calculation than just kind of letting things be and just being open and fluid. So we have these two different attributes that are constantly operating. So too the assembly of Israel has both judgment and mercy. Just as the lily has 13 petals, so too the assembly of Israel has the 13 measures of mercy that surround it on all sides. So we're going to talk more about what that is, but there's basically this structure, a surrounding structure of mercy that has 13 aspects, and that is some kind of important foundation for the lily, which is, again, the assembly of Israel, the dynamic of divine presence being manifested into the world through the chariot of the people of Israel. So there's a structure to that. And then it goes on to say, so too Elokim that appears in the verse here. So here, Rabbi Yechizkiah is quoting the verse in the Torah where it says, in the beginning, Elokim created. So Bereshit bara Elokim, the first verse in the Torah, in the beginning Elokim created. From the moment Elokim is mentioned, it generates 13 words to surround and protect the assembly of Israel. In other words, from the word Elokim, Bereshit bara Elokim, 3 words in is the word Elokim. It's a divine name for God. It's God's presence in the world, in all the powers and forces in existence. So then we have 13 words that come after that, and those are the words that we'll just translate now. The words are, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was emptiness and disorder, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit. And basically, those are the words that come after Elokim. It's basically Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz ve'haaretz hayta tohu vavo v'choshech al penei tehom ve'ruach. Those are the 13 words that come after, and then the word Elokim shows up again. And basically, there's this bracket of Elokim and Elokim. The word shows up twice there, with 13 words in the middle to signify these 13. We'll call them vessels or attributes of mercy that are kind of there to show you that God is kind of creating this system or structure of mercy that's kind of a default structure to allow for connection and fluidity and dynamism in the world. And then we're going to see the contrast to that in the next sections, the justice side, which is the judgment side, which kind of calls for balance and boundaries within that mercy.